rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to being your consumer advocate, making you just a bit more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace. Save our hotline number. We would love to connect with you. A lot of people calling in for different reasons. We got 80 different categories of consumer advocate content and advice right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. 813-750-0550 is our consumer advocate hotline.
You used to call me on my cell
We love it when you
phone.
give us a call on the hotline, 813-750-0550. Call or text that line. Any questions, comments you have from the show. Sometimes we have offers as well out there from our expert contributors also. This segment is brought to you by Discovery Golf Carts, a.k.a. Golf Cart Depot, longtime friends of the program. They've got the Star EV, Cushman, and others new and pre-owned available from Golf Cart Depot. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Feel-good story of the day coming up as well. Orlando police officers donate and deliver Christmas gifts to hundreds of kids in need. Coming up in our feel-good story of the day. And as you may know, I'm the owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We help you win in your real estate deals. I'm a certified negotiation expert, top 1% realtor. We have a great team here in Tampa Bay. We're a husband-wife team. So I've got a couple of hot listings, and if you want to have your real estate listing featured on our show that's syndicated in 85 different outlets worldwide, we would love to talk to you about that, help you get the most amount of profit on the sale of your property. 8518 Poydras Lane in Tampa. This is a cul-de-sac home with only two neighbors. Beautiful property, cul-de-sac, and a conservation lot in the back as well. Almost 1,800 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, stainless steel, granite throughout. Beautiful property right here in Tampa Bay. 1010 Bay Esplanade, one of my favorite listings as well. This is on Clearwater Beach. You take a right at the turn, you go all the way to the end on the north side of the beach, and you're living in Millionaire's Row right there. This is a great opportunity to own prime real estate. 3,200 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3-bath, private sun deck, private apartment that you can rent out. Great opportunity to own real estate. 1010 Bay Esplanade, Clearwater Beach. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, we got one of our expert contributors, Thomas King, Florida Firearms Academy. One of the best expert contributors we have on the team, the VIP team in the house. Welcome in, sir.
Hey, Brandon. Thanks for having me today. It's always fun to be on the show.
Yeah, man. Good to see you, my friend.
Thank you.
And today we're going to talk about laws you need to know.
You got to know these. You know what? Because it can cost you a lot of time in federal prison if you don't.
That's a bummer.
And
That would be a bummer.
And that's what we're going to go over.
You buy a gun for a friend. Hey, go buy a gun for me. Yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah.
Boom. You get how many years roughly?
Consider it a straw purchase. That'll put you in a long time there. So, well, you know what? When people come in to buy a firearm, the best way, if they're buying it for a gift for someone, a family member, the best way to do it is to come in and pick out the firearm you'd like. Let's say your wife says, "Oh, I'd like to get a Smith & Wesson Easy 380." Okay, you can come in, and the best way to do it, instead of you purchasing it, is just get a gift certificate for that gun. It's going to say that gun and everything on it. We're going to take that firearm, put it aside, put her name on it, and when you give her that gift certificate on Christmas Day or whatever, she's going to come into the store. She's going to fill out the paperwork, because what is the problem with it? Can they buy it and say, "Yeah, I gifted it towards my wife"? Yeah, absolutely can. The problem that we actually see a lot is when people they get a divorce and they say, "No, I bought that firearm." Well, whose name is this firearm in? And they fight over this, and legally it's going to come down to who actually owns that firearm.
Right.
You know, who filled out the paperwork for that. So the easiest way, because a gun store, if they say they're on the 4473, it says, "Are you legally purchasing this firearm for yourself?" And you click yes on that, or write yes on there. Well, you know what? You're not. You're gifting it to someone. So they're going to, if the gun store questions it and say, "Oh, is this some kind of straw purchase?" And you go, "Oh, no, it's for a family member, for a wife, or whatever." They have the right to say, "Sorry, we're not going to sell you this because we don't want to be get caught in trouble for these.
Yeah.
Because we don't know who this is going to. So we want to make sure that you just do it correctly. The easiest way, if you're going to any of your local gun stores, is say, hey, this is the gun I want to purchase. You can purchase it right there, pay for it, and there's a gift certificate. Once they hand that over to their wife or their significant other or whoever it may be, well, then they can come out and fill out the paperwork. That's why it's going to be in their name.
Yeah, absolutely. Thomas King, Florida Firearms Academy here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, FFATampa.com. Now, Thomas, we've talked a lot about the Second Amendment being under attack. I got a clip I'm going to play here it's a leaked conversation, phone conversation from Joe Biden talking to some of his cronies.
But I'm not going to exercise executive authority where it's questioned, where I can come along and say, I can do away with assault weapons. There's no executive authority to do away with that.
He says he's not going to take away assault weapons. He's got to write an executive order. Do you believe it?
You know, I don't believe any politician. I don't care what side it is. I mean, you know what?
Exactly.
Until I see it, he may not be the president for long. He may not be, the president after all.
He may not be after all. I think he won't.
Well, you know what? It could be Kamala Harrison, too,
that's
president. So would she do it? Well, she says she's going to do that. But the Clintons did a ban on assault weapons back in '86, and you know what that did? It took away your right to purchase a AR or AK and all that good stuff. So once it elapsed there, and Bush came in office, he didn't re-up it, so we could go out and buy our AKs and AR. So why is that such a crazy thing to have? Has that stopped anything? No, absolutely not. That is one of the best self-defense firearms, and one of a great. It was actually built. The AR was built for hunting. So it's not a military style weapon as they all pronounce it to be.
Yep.
And if you put that gun in the military, they're going to laugh at you.
Yeah, exactly. And when you look at training is another resounding, theme that we have here on the show. We talk a lot about folks with their real estate, their credit, all these different areas, but self-defense and getting trained properly on how to use these when it comes time to actually use them.
Yeah, you know what? That's the best part of actually having an AR is because you don't know how many people are coming into your house. There's home invasions where there's 6 people coming into your house. Well, a pistol may not be enough. So you need something that actually has, a larger capacity magazine, meaning 30 rounds at least. So you don't have to reload. You can go ahead and take out your threat. Also, if you're out there hunting, do you need a 30 round magazine? No, you can get a 10 round, you could get a 5 round, whatever you need to get for your firearm. But they are actually a very accurate firearm for hunting, and that's what the purpose was.
Yeah, especially if you're up in the woods somewhere and you got those black bear, some of these things coming out after you at your campground.
I know. I definitely don't want a black bear coming after me, but they make sprays for that and all that good stuff. But most people carry either a 10 millimeter on their sidearm or a 50 cal pistol to stop those close encounters like that.
Yeah.
But one thing I did want to go over is something that's going to get you in a lot of trouble, and we get so many questions from this. If you own a medical marijuana card, right? That means you're out there smoking. You're like Shaggy on whatever that Scooby show is, or remember Cheech and Chong back in those days? Well, if you own one of those cards, you can have one of those cards now. But I want you guys to really understand it. It is illegal to purchase or own a firearm or purchase ammo or own ammo if you have a medical marijuana card.
Wow.
Now, you can many people out there have a medical marijuana card and they have a concealed weapon permit. That does not mean you're legally allowed to carry a firearm. You're not. You're going to go to jail for that.
So in other words, the medical marijuana card overrides any of that.
Correct.
If you're saying, hey, I need medical marijuana, I have anxiety, I have this or that, you're basically forfeiting your right because you're saying, and the lawmakers are saying, oh, well, there's something wrong with you, for example, in a certain sense, like I can't control whether I would pull my gun or not.
Well, the state says you can, have medical marijuana, right? Well, the federal government says you cannot and possess a firearm. So the state law does not trump the federal laws ever. So you have to take that into consideration. So this is a federal law. This is 18 U.S.C. 9, Section 22, Section G, Section 3. So look that up, and plus there's many more sections onto there that they added on there. But you cannot even own a firearm or own ammunition. And many people are questioning that, saying, no, I purchased my firearm before I got my medical marijuana card.
Right.
Well, that doesn't mean you're allowed to now have that because you have a medical marijuana card. So When you're filling out a 4473 and you're trying to buy a firearm, you would actually have to lie, and that's on 21 Section E. The question is, do you take controlled substances, marijuana, and all that good stuff? If you put no on there, that is 15 years in prison.
Wow.
15 years because you lied. So how would they catch you on that? Well, there's many ways. Right now, there's acts where you actually had to use that in a home defense situation, right? Someone came into your house and you actually shot them. Well, now you're charged with manslaughter because you were under an uncontrolled substance and you have a medical marijuana card. So you're going to be doing jail time.
Wow.
And and actually in the state of Florida right now, there are Florida residents that have been arrested by the ATF for owning a firearm, even when they didn't possess the marijuana on them at the time, but they were under a uncontrolled substance or marijuana at some time, at some point, and they did test positive for that. So you can go to jail for that, and that's a huge crime for owning both of them at this time because it's a federal law.
Wow.
Now, until these laws change, like they're treated like alcohol, you have to comply with these. Now, is the federal government going to change that? Hopefully they will. Hopefully they'll see, you know what, this is used for medication for many people, and they actually do need it. Now, there's many people out there that actually smoke pot, that have the card just because they want to get high and have that feeling.
To be safe.
Other people really do need it, and they need it for their health purposes. Now, I personally don't believe that you should have to choose between medication and a firearm or protection. However, my opinion doesn't really matter to the law. So they want to make sure that, I would love to see at some point where if you actually did have a medical marijuana card and it was for medicinal purposes, then, you should be able to protect yourself. Now, I don't know how far that can go with carrying a firearm or anything, but if someone's breaking into your house, there has to be some kind of...
To me, that's ridiculous.
It is. I don't know.
That is ridiculous. That's, if somebody says... hey, I feel better when especially a lot of people suffering from seizures and those types of things. To me, it's ridiculous. It's an overstep, and it just shows you that, Congress, again, they've got like, what, a 14% approval rating.
Well, there's no studies where people have smoked pot and went and shot up malls and stuff. It's just not happening.
Yeah.
I know people that smoke pot every day because they have to, and they drive cars, and it's not even like they're, crashing into people. So I don't know how much they take or how much they smoke or whatever it may be, but if someone's breaking into your house, what are you going to do? Say, oh, I'm sorry, I have glaucoma and I need this, so you can go ahead and beat and kill me, you know, and do bad things to my family.
Yeah, rape and torture, whatever you want to do.
It just doesn't
We're
make
talking
sense.
with Thomas King, Florida Firearms Academy here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, FFATampa.com, FFATampa.com. And Thomas, that kind of thing happens a lot more than people think. The door gets kicked down, they bust through a window, they hide the cameras in the shrubs outside the home. They're pros. A lot of these thieves, they're pros. And then you walk into the house, and all of a sudden somebody's in there. You're not expecting it, but they're expecting you.
Right. And you know what? If anyone did find out that you have a medical marijuana card, well, they know that you're an easy target. Now, I know you can't just go through people's medical records, but if you're that person that always shows your friends, hey, I got my medical marijuana card, well, now if that gets out, you're an easy target. I know you can't have a firearm or you can't possess a firearm, so now you can go do whatever you want to that person.
Yeah, wow, interesting. What about training? Let's talk about training, because you've got classes for kids, classes for seniors. You got some really cool classes with active shooter situations. Lots of cool things at Florida Firearms.
Right. 40 different types of classes, 16 different instructors you can choose from. So yesterday I actually filmed the kids shooting team, and they had to run through rooms and shoot all kinds of targets, take cover, knock down things, and learn how to move and shoot multiple targets, mandatory reloads, all that good stuff. So
that's cool.
That's not just a sport. It can be used as home defense too. Now, there's different ways we train for different scenarios, so competition style is not going to be home defense style, even though it's kind of the same basics, but you still have to take into consideration that every round that goes through your barrel or comes out of your barrel, you're held accountable for.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a shout out to Thomas King, Florida Firearms Academy. You guys are often doing different raffles and donating that money to good causes, donating it back to the police officers, different funds.
Great.
So thanks for doing that for our community. And you talk to a lot of the sheriff's deputies and police officers that are off duty, and they have an interesting message when they talk to you.
all the time. Like today, I had an officer call and say, hey, I want to come out and get some training. I'm going through the FBI course right now, but I want to be able to have some range time. How much is that? And all this good stuff. And I let them know, well, not that long, a couple weeks ago, we did Operation Fund the Police. That means every law enforcement officer and their family can come in and get a free membership. Now, what's that going to get them? Free range time. That gets them discounts on ammo, discounts on training with us, either live ammunition or simulated ammunition. Plus, they get all kinds of benefits and discounts. So she was so happy to hear this and said, wow, so it cost me nothing, you're telling me? I'm like, yeah. And you get a discount on ammo. So if you're purchasing ammo, and we do have ammo, then you can come in and get that. So it's crazy out there right now what I'm seeing for ammunition.
Yeah.
A box of 9mm going for over $100 a box of 50 rounds.
Wow.
That's insane. And you know what? Right now we're at $30-something, but it's going up. And in January, it's going to go up again because my distributors told me, hey, you're going to have to pay more if you want more ammunition. So when I have to pay more, you have to pay more. I don't want it to be. I'd love it to be back down to $12 a box, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because more people come out and shoot and have a good time with us.
Yeah, same thing with 2x4s and plywood. It seems the cost of goods in a lot of different sectors have gone up. We're almost out of time. Give us your final thought, Thomas.
So we do a lot of gift certificates and package deals coming up tomorrow, Friday. We're going to have this huge package deal going on. If you are purchasing a firearm for a loved one for holidays, just come on in. We'll help you out, show you exactly what it is that they may want. They can try it out there, too, at the store as well. But get them the gift certificate. We'll hold the firearm for them, and you can give that to them for the holidays.
Very cool. All right. Thanks, as always. We appreciate you coming in, Thomas.
Thank you very much, guys.
All right. And when we come back, Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, going to be joining us as well later in the show. Executive producer and backup quarterback, does a great job filling in as host. James D. Jerome going to join us in studio as well. We're going to talk about some of the partners that we have and different categories that we might be seeking to grow into for the next year. So stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Feel good story of the day: Orlando police officers donate and deliver Christmas gifts to hundreds of kids in need. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here, owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show with your residential update for Pinellas County, Florida. This is the latest numbers from the Real Estate Board. The active listings, the number of active listings in Pinellas County at the end of October was 3,510 active real estate properties, and that's residential listings. Now, if we come down and we look at the sales, 2,120 of those 3,500 properties sold, and that divided by, is it going to equal a 60% absorption rate right here, which is a pretty high absorption rate in Pinellas County. And if we divide that by 100, that's giving us a 1.67 months supply of inventory. It's a strong seller's market, as you probably already know and heard here in Tampa Bay. So Pinellas County is a hot real estate market here in Tampa Bay. If you're buying, selling, or investing, Brandon Rhymes here, my wife Lindsay and I own and operate the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We offer a free comparable market analysis, and we can also help you improve credit. We have credit experts, mortgage experts. Would love to talk to you. 813-670-7372. 813-670-7372. And our website is platinummvpteam.kw.com. That's platinummvpteam.kw.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in your real estate deals, buying, selling, or investing. We would love to talk to you. We're going to help you win in your deal. We're going to help you maximize the profit as a seller, as we do with our current listings here in Tampa Bay. We got 12208 Four Oaks Road in Tampa. This is a Carrollwood property. Prime land available for development. You can put up to 40 units. It's got an R9 zoning right here in Tampa Bay, zone for residential. So you can build condos, townhouses, residential units right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. 4209 Preserve Place in Palm Harbor. This is another property that we have. This is a condo that is an end unit, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. You got a 2-car garage and a water view, vaulted ceilings, and very spacious living room right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. See all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
And this segment is brought to you by Replenish IV Solutions, the science of nutritional balance. And let's think about it. Everybody wants to feel energized, hydrated, and replenished. Let our friends over at Replenish IV Solutions do that for you. It's a safe and effective way to restore your body's immune system with crucial vitamins and nutrients, enabling them to perform at optimal conditions. So stay with us. We are Replenish IV Solutions' location is on Gandy Boulevard. They've got one up in Carrollwood area, up in off of Bears, and also Wesley Chapel. So Replenish IV Solutions, the science of nutritional balance. All right, we're going to the phones now. We got Fred Muth, Tampa, Screens and Aluminum, a.k.a. the Tin Man.
How are you?
Hey, buddy, I'm doing well. And yourself?
Very good. I was glad to see you this morning when I swung by the studio there and dropped off my package for Project Pop Drop.
Thank you very much for doing that. I appreciate that. That's awesome.
You have a pretty good promoter there. Beth from Baltimore, she called me the other day, and she's really, really good at promoting these things. I got to tell you, my hat goes off to her.
Yeah, Beth she's doing a great job, and yeah, it's a good program we got going for the end of the year. I love that.
It always feels good to give something away, even if you need it.
That's right. Absolutely. The reason for the season and giving, and yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah. So what's going on your end? How are you doing? How's the real estate market?
Real estate's going well. We got low inventory is our challenge right now. Low inventory. We got great mortgage rates, and it's just a great time for people to get into real estate. And yeah, we're loving it. The end of the year is coming up, and it's time for goal setting for next year, and looking forward to another great year in 2021.
I just had a guy come down from the north. He was desperate, and he says he can't find anything. And he looked at 3 or 4 of them, and he dropped the ball right away. He says, that because as he's trying to buy these properties, prices are becoming more negotiable against him. So
right.
That's the bad thing about the limited inventory. Raises the prices, but got to make the sale. We like to have a little more inventory out there. Wouldn't you think so?
Yeah, absolutely. And we just talked about on yesterday's show as well with Diane Vance and Ray Hall Appraisals. We were talking about the impact fees for Hillsborough County. Looks like they're going to be potentially increased. And they claim that the reason why is, of course, the transportation is so bad. They're getting a lot of calls for transportation, but also the lack of sales tax due to COVID-19.
Well, maybe they'll take some of that money and pump it into the building department to make our permits come through a little faster.
Yeah, right. I hear it's quite a challenge when you're permitting, right?
It's very challenging. I typically have to say 8 to 12 weeks to get a permit in Hillsborough County right now, and that's way too long. It shouldn't be that long. We talk about this every time I come on the show. Obviously, it's a sour note in my life when it comes to pulling a permit. You meet with somebody, they want the job done. They expect a month or two. No,
yeah.
A month or two, it's not even, it's in the building department. It hasn't moved from this section to that section. I don't know what to tell you about it, and I know that it could go better. The city of Tampa is much faster than Hillsborough. So
is it just because they're overwhelmed?
Well, I don't want to say too much. I just think that they're not pushing as hard as they could, and I'll drop it there.
I got you.
I don't want to create any enemies.
Yeah, exactly. I'm with you there, Fred. Stay with us. Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum coming up. More from Fred. We're going to talk about adding these beautiful patios, lanai, screen rooms onto your real estate, and more from our expert contributors. Also, Orlando police officers donate Christmas gifts to hundreds of kids in need. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show. Check out consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, Brandon, just let me know when you're set for the second half. All right, I'm all set back here. Let's do it.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm also a top 1% ranked real estate team here in Tampa Bay. We help our sellers profit more on the sale of their real estate. Check out our listing here at 13204 Fawn Lily Drive. This is out in East Hillsborough County. Beautiful property. It's a large home, so if you need extra square footage, check out this property at 4,500 plus square feet, 6 bedrooms, 5 bath, 3-car garage, resort-style amenities with a covered lanai and a water view. Great opportunity to own real estate here in beautiful Tampa Bay. The property is 13204 Fawn Lily Drive. Also, we got an acre of land on the river in Newport Richey, 6128 Oak Ridge Avenue in Newport Richey. Beautiful property, 4,100 plus square feet, 4 bedrooms, 4 bath, waterfront home with a dock, with a private shed as well. And you've got almost a full acre of land on the river. Beautiful property with bay access. Take your boat out fishing in the beautiful Gulf of Mexico and enjoy all of the best Florida lifestyles right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. Check out all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. And this segment is brought to you by Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Brothers Easy Moving, I can tell you from firsthand experience, they did a first-class job on my move to our new lake home. Check them out online, Brothers Easy Moving. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Take them up on those special offers. All right, back to the phones. Fred Mew, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, a.k.a. the Tin Man. And Fred, we talk about this in-between space on your homes. It's not outside in the humidity. It's in the mosquitoes. It's such a beautiful, gorgeous place to enjoy time.
I use that line every time. Every time I measure a job, I tell people that they're buying the space in between the inside and the outside.
Yeah.
And they love that. They like the concept. Thanks for giving me that idea.
My pleasure. I love it too.
And I'm looking at a job that I signed up a couple of weeks ago here. I'm sitting at my desk because we always talk about the panoramic view, and this is a good one to talk about on the air. It's a 74-foot wide pool cage. It's 26 deep, 74 wide, and there were initially 12 uprights on the back. 12 total, and with a chair rail. And we've reduced, we took it from 12 to 4.
Wow.
So there's going to be 3 panels on the backdrop, and this thing drops right to the river. And these are the kind of jobs that really make a lot of sense in this business today. The panoramic view is such a nice concept on a pool cage. If you have a pool cage and if you really enjoy the view beyond the cage, it's something to consider where we can really open up the back end of I can do all sides if you want. I can do sides, back, whatever. A lot of people choose just to do the rear wall. because of their backdrop. But you've seen a few of these, haven't you, Brandon?
Absolutely. And we have them on the website, too. We can throw them up on the screen for our TV watchers on Apple, Amazon, Roku, and all the other outlets. Of course, we syndicate on YouTube and Facebook as well. But the idea is to minimize that water view. When you've got waterfront on a lake, a river, a ocean, or even just a nice conservation view of like a forest behind you, the less uprights, the better. And Tampa Screens and Aluminum, Fred Muth on the phones right now, can really help you with the quality job.
Yeah, I've sold quite a few of these. I want to say that the concept took off about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe more, maybe 6 years. And once they start going up, the neighbor would see it, they would want the same thing. So we're getting a lot of that type of business where we do one in the neighborhood, and then the next thing you know, I'm back out there, we got 5 or 6 more going at the same time. And, it's something that was not available 20 years ago, and it was this concept, people requested it 20 years ago because they didn't like looking out and, looking out the back of their cage and, getting this idea that they were stuck in jail, basically, because of all the uprights and chair rails and everything else. So it's a beautiful concept in the business. And I don't know how many others we have in. I know Richard and Ricky are selling them like hotcakes as well. I don't ask them guys how many sales they have in. I just learned a couple of weeks ago that we had almost 200 cages on the books. Now, that's a lot of business.
Wow. That really is. You mean on the books is in process? In process,
yeah. I turn them in. I think I'm doing great. I got probably 30, 40 jobs in progress right now. And then the girl in the office tells me, "Oh yeah, we got 200 cages."
Wow.
takes the wind out of my sails. But I like that. That's the way it should be.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. And then some people they will even glass them in and try to turn them into indoor-outdoor space. That's a confusing area for real estate. Some people say, well, if I close in my screened-in lanai, if I kind of enclose it and maybe drop some windows in there, then that's going to add to my square footage on public record and help me sell my property, which would have been an 1,800 square foot home. It's going to bump it up to 2,100 square feet, for example. The answer to that is not necessarily and not always, but maybe sometimes. But different boards or different municipalities see that differently. So, for example, in Pinellas County, I had a property one time. It was that same situation. Of course, the owners are always looking to maximize their sale, maximize their square footage and profit. And obviously, you get more dollar per square foot if it's seen as a under air or heated square footage. They call it heated here in Florida. We don't use the heat much, but under AC would be another way to look at it. But the county is going to look at it like this. They're going to say, well, your exterior construction on your home is block construction with stucco on it. Your area that you're trying to add to your square footage is not. It's a different component. It's built out of they would call it inferior in terms of the wind rating, etc. So they're not going to allow you to count that as under air square footage. Have you heard of that scenario before, Fred?
Oh yeah. This is a situation you and I could speak about for hours. And what does happen in this industry is we'll build a screen room, for example, and of course the uprights are strong. So at some point, somebody may convert it to a glass room. Now, we don't typically like to convert screen rooms to glass rooms because the extrusions really are not made for glass. But somebody may convert that. And at that point, they may try to, the homeowner may assume that it's now habitable space. Well, it's really not habitable space unless it was permitted for habitable space. And to permit that for habitable space, you need to have the HVAC and the electric. And I talked about this on the last show. If we build it from the beginning as a glass room and we permit the job as a glass room, typically it does go in as a habitable space project, and basically it will add. But the process of permitting, it's very expensive to move forward with that. That's why you don't see a lot of them. You see maybe a lot of lanais with shingle roofs over top, and you may see the glass windows in underneath. And that, again, that's a gray area, whether or not that's habitable space, because if the windows were added later without a permit, no, it's not habitable space. If the windows were put in and it was permitted for habitable space, then it would become habitable space. That's my experience. And I know that you run into it all the time as a real estate agent, because when I was doing a lot of real estate, I would run, in some cases it would just hold up the closing.
Yeah, it could be a challenge. It challenges the appraiser. The appraiser has to come back out and measure. It could get a little sticky there. We're talking with Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, longtime friend of the program, a.k.a. the Tin Man here. Final thoughts, Fred. Top tips, nuggets of advice, final thoughts.
I always tell everybody on the air that homeowners, I direct this to them, if you're going to bid out a project, I don't care if it's a screen room, a roof, whatever it is, make sure that you ask a lot of questions. And that's beneficial to not only the homeowner, it's beneficial to the representative of the company. Because in case, for whatever reason, that representative missed something, it's not going to become a large surprise on the back end. There's nothing worse than a big surprise in the construction business after the job is built. So it's a really good idea to ask questions. We welcome the questions at Tampa Screens. I tell my customers going into it, I say, will you ask me a lot of questions? You will not bother me whatsoever. I say, when I leave here, if you have the same question and I'm driving down the road, please call me and ask me. Yeah. That way it's covered. And I recall projects that I did at my house, and I just went in there and I asked so many questions. I thought I knew what I was talking about, but I wanted to hear it from the representative.
Right.
And I would ask redundant questions. That way it was covered, and
that's right.
No surprises.
That's right.
That's my closing thoughts. Just to continue to ask questions, make sure the job is done the way that you want it to be done.
Yep.
Ask about the size of the uprights, the size of the beams, the type of screen fabric, how it's going to connect. This all matters. What size footers we're putting in, what type of concrete we use. You've got to ask these questions. These things matter.
Just don't ask how long permitting is going to take, right?
Well, I tell them, I say, ask anything but when. Don't ask me when.
Don't ask me when. That's a good one.
I cannot give you an honest when. When we get the permit, you'll hear from us.
There you go. All right, Fred. Hey, thanks so much. We appreciate you calling in, bud.
Okay, take care and have a happy holiday if I don't talk to you.
Hey, likewise. Yes, sir. Appreciate it. All right, coming up, executive show producer James D. Jerome and the backup quarterback is going to join us here in studio with a preview and a partner update for 2021. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here, host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, giving you a real estate market update for Hillsborough County. These are the residential listings available at the end of October. There were 3,348 residential properties available in Hillsborough County, and out of those 3,348 properties, 2,488 sold. That gives us a 74% absorption rate. That is a high rate of absorption, and it also equals a 1.35 months supply of inventory, equals a strong seller's market. It's a great time to sell right now. Of course, if you're buying, selling, or investing, we would love to talk to you. Brandon Rhymes here. My wife Lindsay and I own and operate a top team at Keller Williams Realty. We actually rank in the top 1% of all realtors here in Tampa Bay. Give us a call at 813-670-7372. Free comparable market analysis, 813-670-7372. And check out our website, platinummvpteam.kw.com. That's platinummvpteam.kw.com. And for our radio show, you can check us out at consumerqb.com, and you can find 80 plus categories, 50 plus show partners at consumerqb.com. And Brandon Rhymes here signing off. Thank you so much. Make it a great day.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team. Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in your real estate deals, buying, selling, or investing. We would love to talk to you. 1813 East Knollwood is a great opportunity here in Tampa. This is in the kind of the Seminole Heights area, almost like a South Tampa home. Reduced $4,000 as well. The property just got reduced, and it is almost 1,300 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 3 bath. Carport, large private backyard, great opportunity to own real estate, newly renovated as well. Basically a brand new home because it was stripped down to the studs. Beautiful property at 1813 East Knollwood Street, right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. We've got some properties here as well. Lots of vacant land in Tampa Bay. So if you're a builder, developer looking to build and develop, we would love to talk to you as well. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. Every day we're going to tell you something good in our feel-good story of the day.
Tell me something good.
All right, Orlando police officers donate and deliver Christmas gifts to kids in need. Police officers surprised more than 200 children in need with Christmas presents on Saturday. The Orlando Police Department collected the names of the children in need from local churches, counselors, and community centers to bring smiles to the kids' faces this Christmas. And the department's officers and staff donated the money to buy the toys and personally deliver the gifts to the children at their homes. Officer Marcus Hyatt said the gift giving helps build trust in the community and close the gap because so often law enforcement is portrayed in a certain way. People don't get the chance to see us handing out gifts and us having positive conversations with people, Hyatt said. And, quote, people don't get the chance to see the human that we are just like them. I love that story, James. That's a great one.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that people need to think more about. You hear about one story and it dominates the news, but going on all day long, all these folks are out in the community every day dealing with people, helping people out. So the ratio of issues to productive police work is about 99 to 1.
Exactly.
You hear a lot about the bad stuff, but these guys are out there every day, 24 hours a day, taking care of the community. So it's not something that there's no shortage of that. We need to learn more about that and definitely talk more about that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't fit the narrative, though, of some of the mainstream media as well. But James D. Jerome joining me here in studio as a backup quarterback as well. Did a great job filling in this year as well. James, thanks so much
I appreciate it
for that, man.
That was great. I appreciate the opportunity, and too bad it had to happen the way it did. But
yeah,
it gave me a chance to get on the air a little bit. I'm proud of the show. I really work hard in the show, and I want the show to be the valuable resource that we think it is. And we've got so many. The home service thing is so easy for us because we got Diane and Ray like we were on yesterday, and we talked to William Crowley and all the folks around getting home ownership. But then the home service folks, we just brought on Chris Robinson from About Face Cabinetry.
Yeah,
does a great job. Wants to save you money. Everyone's out there thinking about flipping, investing. Get in touch with Chris, man. He can show you real value. Of course, Fabray's been a long-time partner with us, and they're tied into the real estate game in a way that might not occur to you right away with real estate photography. But anytime you're buying and selling, get in touch with Fabray. They're going to take real good pictures and make a big difference in the amount of time you can spend. Yeah. And then, of course, Mold Zero has been a big issue. Greg Bowman with the AC guy. We have Pro Health come on all the time and talk about what we can do for a pest control perspective. Just heard from Fred in Tampa Screens. Always does a great job. Loves being on the show with us all the time. I love his work.
Yep.
Chuck Peterson from Suncoast. Man, you can't say enough about this guy. He drives all over the state. He'll go to Louisiana to help folks out. He's tarping roofs. He's doing his best for folks, and this storm season was no joke. Chuck was all over the place helping folks out and trying to fight through these shortages that we talk about, plywood and shingles and all this stuff. Get in touch with Suncoast, man. He's the guy for you. David Ringo and 3D have been a partner for us, and David's got the kind of, he talks about his business like it's his child. He loves it. It's a passion for him, and he wants the whole industry to do well. So
it shines through.
Yeah, he really cares about what he's doing, and I would encourage everybody to get in touch with 3D for your solar needs. Fred D. Felice comes on and talks about water with us.
Freddie D.
And you don't know about water. You don't think about water. It's on the top of your head all the time. But when you really start thinking about it, man, it better be good for you because you're surrounded by it. You're drinking it. It's everything. It's part of 90% of your body or more.
That's right.
Fred D. is our guy in the water field, And then there's a couple of unique ones. Kevin Overstreet comes in with Property Firewall, and I'm blind to that kind of stuff. I don't see it like you guys do all the time in real estate transactions. Some of the perils that you might fall into. This stuff's no joke. You imagine buying a house and then realizing you didn't buy a house? Someone just knocks on your door and said, "This is my house."
Yeah. You thought you lived in that house for years. You thought you had it almost paid off, and then somebody ripped you off, took out, and there's it's sophisticated, but at the same time, when you reverse engineer it, like we did with, we had that guy that was on American Greed, or his last name was Cox, Matt Cox.
That's right, Matt Cox.
He was on American Greed because he did this on a major scale.
Right in our backyard, guys. 100 properties in Ybor.
Yeah. So you own this home. You think you have all this equity. All of a sudden, somebody stole your home from you without. And we're not talking about with guns and knives. We're talking about a white-collar crime by simply forging some documents online.
Absolutely shocking. I didn't know it was going on out there. Thank you to Kevin Overstreet for bringing that to our attention. You know, that kind of ties into all our legal folks. And I've learned so much from Millie this year. Millicent Athanason, the law offices of Millicent Athanason. She comes in with great information. The election has been very tricky for me to understand how the voting deadlines work, all the different things that go into it.
Yep.
She's been great as far as a resource for information for us. And then Frank Charles Miranda, you know, with Lauren comes in and Frank comes on the air. They bring a unique perspective. Frank's been in the market a long time.
Yep.
We have Joe Pippin, you know, talk about a guy who's at tops of his field, done the longest running radio show in Florida. This guy knows estate law
close to
inside
30
out.
years, I think, plus or minus a year or two.
Any questions related to estate law, let's get in touch with Joe Pippin. He's our guy. And, of course, Jason Coble does a great job. You know, Jason's all over. He's got apps. He's developing casino games, but he does a great job with personal injury and workman's comp. You know, that PTSD story that he brought us from the Pulse nightclub situation in Orlando was really stunning to me, and now I realize how important that PTSD is as far as being available as a resource for officers to say, hey, I wasn't shot, but I'm not feeling great about the situation I just was in.
Yeah.
I need to talk to somebody about this, and now they can at least get insurance to cover that.
Yeah, now they can file and actually receive benefits from a first responder, because the old law used to just be, no, you weren't shot, you weren't actually physically injured.
If we don't see the injury, there is no injury.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, look at these soldiers coming back from over war. Look at these police. Look at these fire, emergency, throwing themselves into positions where, you know, the average person wouldn't want to be in there. And that's what they, you know, and let's face it, they don't make the highest dollar per year on an annualized payment.
No, those guys are working hard. Hey, we got a lot of unique categories, too. I really like Eli, the ghostwriter. You know, a lot of folks out there might not think, hey, I can write a book. You sure can. Get with Eli, man. You don't realize your story until you sit down and talk to somebody about it, and you realize all the information you really know about your field and how that would benefit someone else. So that was a cool one for me. I really like Gulfside Healthcare. Linda comes on, and she's brought all the different folks from Gulfside on, talking about a nonprofit that really has a big heart for the community. Man, that's something we really love to have the Gulfside and all the folks from Gulfside come on. And, of course, we work with Children's Cancer Center. You know, Julian calls us all the time. We do whatever we can for those folks. We really want to go out of our way to help the people in our community that deserve it. And, you know, we've had commissioners. We're going to get more commissioners and mayors and different local politicians on the show in the future, law enforcement, fire chief, all that kind of stuff. There's some categories, though, that I think we could add to the show.
Yeah.
You know, we talked a little bit on medicine side. How about nutritionists, stem cell, you know, some of this new medicine stuff? I really love to learn more. I think there's a lot of information for the community out there if we get some authorities. If you know folks, someone in those fields that would benefit, man, we'd love to talk to them. Get in touch with Brandon in the show.
Yeah, reach out to our hotline, 813-750-0550. We have opportunities for business owners out there, salesmen and women, people in the community. That's what this show's about. It's a local show, local economy here in Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region of Florida. Reach out to the hotline, 813-750-0550. If you or someone you know of would like to be on the show, maybe you say, hey, so-and-so would be great on the air. I should have them get in contact. Let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm telling you, a radio or TV spot goes a long way to showing folks who you are. Talk about a radio and TV spot as a 30-second spot, maybe trying to hit those right ears and right eyes, hoping folks see it at the right time. Man, the Consumer Quarterback Show is on weekdays, 4 o'clock. We're all over the place. We're on smart TVs. We're on the web. We've got the radio show on Sunday. We're on iHeart. We're all over the place. So our message is getting out there. Think about what you could do to your business if you had 12 minutes or 13 minutes to talk about all the things that folks don't know about.
Yeah, repurpose that content on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Apple, Amazon, Roku, 85 different outlets. But some of the ideas that we were talking about, James, doctors, holistic health, you know, even like security business. I think security is going to be a big business, residential and business security in 2021.
And we're crossing into the cyber versus home thing where we have these smart homes that kind of work in conjunction with your personal security. So you have these firms out there that talk about cyber security and protecting your identity, and then it kind of ties in with the whole idea of your basic security for your property, for your finances, for your records, for everything you have in your computer. I think that's a field with lots and lots of information and misinformation, which is why we need to jump in there.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at it personally. I want to get all my information backed by a virtual private network. I want a VPN around my home. We operate a business out of there, and it's too easy to be hacked these days, and it puts you in a bad position.
Well, you see some of these stores are amazing the way they're lifting information off cards and remote cameras and things now with technology. I'm talking about someone bumping into you and just taking a magnetic reading, taking all the data out of your phone by just simply bumping you with a device that's meant to pull that information. It's stunning.
It really is unbelievable. And just think about it, it does. Oh, well, here's a new way you can just give me your contact. Boom, there's your contacts. You literally touch the phones.
Yeah.
So there are ways that people can do that.
There's so much information in that phone. You got to think about it. You got to be careful.
So that'd be a great addition to the team. Some kind of a security expert would be awesome. Holistic health. We really love holistic health. And ways that you can do things outside of the FDA and what they're saying with this chemical, that drug.
Yeah, I thought Steve and Lisa Gunnan, I haven't talked to Steve because he's been a partner for so long, but this COVID thing and his business there's a few of our partners that hit right at the right time, and I thought, wow, that was a great concept he had there. And of course, Alex Lima goes to your house now if he has to train you, still talking more about security.
That's right.
We've got guys going out of their way to work through this COVID situation, do their best. I was really impressed with Corey Van Valen. Of course, entertainment's been shut down. They don't have theaters available for him. He will not quit. He's on the street. He goes out. He hustles. He's got the internet thing going, websites all over the place.
He's an interesting character.
We've got a great group. You want to be a part of it.
That's right. 50-plus show partners, 80 categories, and we're growing, and we'd love to talk to you about it. Reach out to the hotline, consumerqb.com. And, hey, another great show. I want to thank Thomas King, Fred Muth, James D. Jerome for joining us. And as we always say, we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness, do something kind for one another, and be a force for good in the community, and continue to support local programming with the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show.